Hello everybody, it's the music reviewer here with a ponytail. I know, it's stupid. But today we're going to be doing Metallica worst to best. So what we're basically doing here is taking all of Metallica's discography, excluding B-side albums and live albums and stuff and cover albums. We're talking about just straight up original material by them. And we're going to be ranking them from worst to best. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, let's go. Now, clocking in as the worst Metallica album. No, I'm just kidding. It's Saint Anger. Do I really need to explain to you guys why Saint Anger is bad? I mean, if you haven't seen my video on the search for the worst, I just tell you all about, how bad Saint Anger is there. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a true Metallica fan, you'll know also why it's such a bad album. I mean, I don't even need to explain. Next up is Load. Load was part of the two-part series that Metallica was going for, Load and Reload. And it was originally supposed to be a double album, but they split it up into two for some reason. I mean, hey, make that extra money, you know what I mean? But the reason why it ranks so low here is because I felt coming right off of the Black Album, it feels like you were just, in the Black Album and, all the albums previously, you were in this, pretty good, pretty nice hot tub. Have you ever been, in a hot tub for, a really long time? And then going into Load, it felt like you got out of got straight out of a hot tub after being in there for, maybe, 20 minutes, and then just jumping straight into a freezing cold pool. It was such a throw-off compared to, the other stuff Metallica had done in the past, and I just felt it was a little too different. They're kind of going for more of a grungy-ish, if anything, cleaner vibe on this album, and I wasn't really too much of a fan of that, and for that reason, it's why it lands here. Right after that is Death Magnetic. And some of you guys may be like, Brock, well, why is this so low? It was such a good album. Well, not in my opinion. I mean, I actually looked into it, and instead of most people just automatically thinking it's good because, oh, it wasn't another Saint Anger, so it's gotta be good. And you know what? You're right. I think it was a pretty decent Triumph and Return, but there have been better Triumph and Returns out there. And you know what? I mean, the only redeeming quality of this thing I can really say, it actually has guitar solos, and it's not Saint Anger. Other than that, it was okay. I mean, anything in Metallica's catalog besides Saint Anger is honestly either just okay or really good. Next up is the second half of the Load series, Reload. Reload, yeah, you guys might be wondering, why isn't Death Magnetic above Reload? This is dumb. Well, in my opinion, I think Reload has a lot more redeeming qualities than Death Magnetic. I think it's more of a fire starter, headbanging kind of album. Like I said, it's not the best. If anything, it's nowhere near some of the best stuff in Metallica's catalog. But there are some really good gems hidden all over this album. You just have to dig really deep in some places. Like I said, Fuel is probably in my top 10 favorite Metallica songs list, and I might be making that soon. Maybe I might be. Just shh, don't hold your breath on that one. Next up, we have Metallica's most recent album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now, in my opinion, this is the album that Death Magnetic should have been. It is the true Triumph and Return, and showing that Metallica, even after, so many years of, them being around, they can still come up with new, creative, and good things. And it's honestly just the true, album that we needed to just gain our trust back with Metallica after, after all the crap from the, 90s all the way up to the early to mid 2000s. I think this shows Metallica's, still has talent and still has, true power in the metal scene. Now, next up, we're getting into the good stuff with Metallica's Master of Puppets. Oh my god, is this album ever just amazing? Now, you guys may wonder, why did I put it higher? I mean, Master of Puppets should be like number 1 or number 2. Well, in my opinion, I think there are quite a few that, can challenge Master of Puppets' amazingness and quite frankly, win. But enough of that. You got stuff like Battery. You got stuff like Welcome Home Sanitarium, which is like one of my favorite, if not like really close, I'd say like my top 5 favorite Metallica songs. You got Master of Puppets. You got like Orion. The list goes on of amazingness. Now, next up is Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All has got to be one of the, if not arguably, the greatest Metallica album of all time. But it's not the greatest in my list, but it's top 3 material. I mean, it's just Metallica at its finest. Like, it is true, just late to early 70s, 80s Metallica. Just kicking a lot of butt and just creating some really hardcore metal tunes that honestly get stuck in your head for quite a long time. I can't, you got stuff like, Hit the Lights and the Four Horsemen. Like, there's such great tracks on here, and you should really go check out. Now, next up, I had a really hard time picking this spot, because these are 2 albums I really like, but there only had to be one. And that album is And Justice for All. And oh boy, this has got to be some of the best and heaviest work I've ever seen from Metallica. And it really shines upon the, start light and softly at the beginning, and then just kick up 1,000 notches, formula. And it works very effectively on this album. Stuff like the title track, Harvester of Sorrow, One is probably, if not, like, my favorite Metallica song of all time. Well, maybe not my favorite, but top 3 material. This is just, I think this really shines in Metallica's catalog. Now, in my opinion, the best Metallica album is Ride the Lightning. I know this may seem like a cop-out choice, but if you actually give this album a listen yourself, you'll understand why I say it. This is Metallica at its finest in, like, musical and, like, quality performance. They just absolutely outdo themselves on every single song. I cannot think of one bad or even just okay song. All these songs on this album are just really good. I would really suggest picking this up if you were, like, first trying to get in Metallica. This is just absolutely beautiful. You got stuff like the title track and Fade to Black, all amazing songs, and Creeping Death. God, that's just absolutely perfect. So yeah, that's my list, best to worst. If you like this video, leave a like. If you really like me, then subscribe. If you don't like the video, then subscribe. If you kinda like the video, then subscribe. And if you really hate me, then like the video and subscribe. Okay, I forgot to do the transition thing. I feel so ashamed of myself. Well, you guys are the best. And remember, the only opinion that matters is your own. Bye-bye.